Welcome, Hoarders. Today we're going to be playing some more Grand Theft Auto 5, and this Testing Tuesday, we're going to be testing the Vulcar Nebula Turbo, based on, I don't remember the exact year, I think it was like 1976, Volvo 242 GT. I believe there was also a GT Turbo. I'm not completely sure on that. I did already do a customization video of this yesterday. If you guys want to go check that out, highly recommend it. There's some cool stuff, some big turbos that you can hook onto it. I really can't tell if the turbos that you put on this actually change the performance. I don't think they do. I think it just changes the engine sound. It obviously has more of a turbo noise to it. I like the car. It's an expensive car for what it is. That is definite. It's almost $800,000. It's not a cheap car, so in order to buy it and max it out, you need about $1 million for a Volvo, which is a lot of money for a Volvo, but I will admit it has quite a bit of horsepower off the line. I believe it is only rear-wheel drive. Don't think it's four-wheel drive. I think I actually stopped here before to do the four-wheel drive thing and completely destroy the front end. Yes, it's rear wheel only, but when you floor it, it will zip around, like, you'll have no grip for a few seconds, several. That's just regular flooring it. You're gonna slide back and forth quite a bit. One of the only cars I ever really noticed to have an antenna on it. I'm sure other cars have them, but I don't ever recall seeing there being antennas on cars on here. As you can tell, as far as performance, this thing likes going left and right quite often. I'm just trying to keep it in a straight line, and there's constant adjustments that you have to do. It swings left and right like a madman. Acceleration's not great, mostly because the power, it just spins out for a long time. Braking, pretty good braking, actually. Handling, it's pretty fidgety and twitchy. It doesn't go exactly where you would like it to go. As far as looks compared to the original, like the GTA version of the car compared to the original version, for the most part, this car is exact. The only thing that's really different is the back of this livery. It has more of a U shape over the trunk, and the headlights, if I can get on a straight stretch. Okay, I'm going to not be able to save it because this clearly doesn't have enough grip to do that. But the headlights on this, you see like the two middle fog lights in the grill. Those on the real life version are rectangular, or I think they're more rectangular than square, just by memory. On here they're just circles, and I also don't think they ever work. I don't think the bottom ones work either. Actually, the ones in the grill might work, if you can actually turn your high beams on at night, but I don't think the ones on the splitter turn on at all. Really don't think there's much more to add to this, so let's head on over to the test track and see what time we can get. This vehicle is under the Sports Classic category, in case you were wondering. If you haven't checked out the, what video is it? The customization video I did on this, this is going to get a horrible start. If you haven't checked out the customization video, like I said, I highly recommend, but in the customization video, this has a lot of stuff to really make it look a lot like a rally car. I'm not sure if they used the 242 GT in rally racing. I honestly don't know. I don't know that much about rally racing to say if they did or not. but it definitely, it has that body style that seems like it would be good at racing and rallycross and stuff like that. Um, but it also has a ton of customizable components that would make it be good at that. This slides bad. That was probably as good as I could really make that turn, honestly. It's so... This has terrible grip. I don't even remember ever seeing a car that has this little grip to it. It slides so much. I'm really doing the best I can because I want to get the best time I can also. Like on the highway, I was just trying to stay in between the lines. That's why it looked a lot more fidgety than I was trying to have it be. Like I wanted it to be in between the lines, and you have to do a lot of adjusting, but this vehicle, if you adjust a little bit, it goes pretty far. If I'm going to mess up, it's going to be right here, and I didn't. You have to let off the gas quite a bit on that turn. It's a good thing, but a bad thing with this vehicle. Normally, it's a good thing. But with this vehicle, it's so squirrely, you don't have enough downforce or enough grip to make those turns going full speed like you can with like the X80 Proto and stuff like that. It's just no. It's not going to happen. I think as far as right now, I think this is going to be more of a show car than it is going to be anything else. This definitely, I'm sure it could be a fun rally car, but I don't think it's going to be a good rally car. Like, it might be something that just mess around in an open lobby, but I don't think you're gonna really be able to function nicely in a regular race. Okay, we went a little bit wide there, but we couldn't really keep it any more inward. 2:36.544 seconds. That is not a great time, I'll tell you that right now. That we're probably looking at like 60th place around that area. But let's now head on over to the leaderboard and see where we placed. On the test track, the Vulcar Nebula Turbo finished in 120th place at 2 minutes 36.544 seconds. I know I originally said about 60th place. Double that. That is a very, very bad time. That is nowhere near what I thought it really was going to be. It felt like it was a quicker time, but I guess you could say the same thing about the Karen 190Z. That felt like it was a quick time, but it isn't. It's just not a quick time. I still like the car, but I think the reason that it's so bad on the test track specifically, because obviously we didn't get to the drag test yet, but I think it's so bad on the test track due to the fact that the grip is terrible, and the handling's terrible. Those are such bad combinations, because with the bad grip, not only can you not get off the line quick, but when you take turns, you're sliding instead of keeping speed through a turn. And it made me have to go a little bit slower around some of the turns. It also doesn't have great top speed, so on the straight stretches, it can't even rebuild up the speed that it lost. So now let's head on over to the drag track and see what we can do over there. Okay, now for the final test. I think this is probably going to be staggeringly bad. Just because the terrible, terrible grip off the start. It just wants to spin. That's all it wants to do. Oh, God. The handling also does not help. I will say, this is the closest view you can get to the car, and it's quite strange. Oh my God. It's so fidgety. You touch the wheel a tiny bit, it goes 40 feet to the right. Okay, what time did we get? Probably not good. I already know it's not going to be good. 28.864. actually a bit faster than what I was thinking it would be. But let's now head on over to the leaderboard and see where we placed. On the drag track, we also finished in 120th place at 28.864 seconds. One of the first times I think that we've ever had a vehicle place in the same place on both of the tracks. But we both finished 120th place. But again, the lack of traction does not help this car in any way, shape, or form at all. It is terrible when it comes to that. The price for the vehicle at almost $800,000 is way too expensive for a Volvo, especially one that can't even stay in a straight line, where if you even just touch the joystick a tiny bit, it just starts getting squirrely, and then you have to try to wrestle it back into going in a straight line. It's a very fiddly car. This, I would have to say, is a buyer beware thing. Mostly, it's a car show car, or a car just to drive around for fun. I wouldn't suggest getting it for the purpose of using it in races. Clearly, it's not the fastest sports classic car that there is in the game. There's much other better ones above this. I really don't know. I'd have to go through the list again and figure out which ones are the best of each category so far. But it's just not a very, very good car at all. As far as looks, I still think it has its own special look. I like the car, but I don't like the performance of the car. I hope this helped someone decide whether that they wanted to buy the car or not. If it did or didn't, please consider subscribing. Make sure you post in the comments down below of a vehicle you'd like to see me test in the next episode of Testing Tuesday. The next one I think will probably be the I don't know. There's two new cars. I don't remember what they were. There was another one that's like a Maserati / Jaguar F-Type that was added, and the other one, I can't remember what it was at all. It was a white car on the Legendary Motorsports site, which I think a lot of people might be interested in that. But like I said, post. If you post it, most likely I will pick it. But that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click one of my previous, next, and related videos. And don't forget to check out my other social medias in the description down below.